The first part of this assignment is a little in-class assignment. It doesn't mean that you have to finish it by the end of class, but it's something for you to do to prepare you for the project that we're going to do next. And what it is, and the videos will guide you, is a little thumbnail. First of all, it's like a little floor plan of how you might construct a bay window, because you might want to do that in this room. Put a bay window in. And then put a sofa at the front of it. And the sofa, of course, is going to give you some practice for drawing your sofa, which we're doing in this project later on. So you do a little thumbnail first, a little thumbnail floor plan, which is often the way a designer will start designing a room. A decorator is on a floor plan. Where are things going? And how big are they? In relation one to the other. Then the next thing is to put it into a perspective, a one-point perspective, and it's really tiny. This is just really tiny. And then you're going to move on and make it much larger and ink it in. Here's the inked in, cleaned up version. This is on a piece of marker paper. And whenever you take your marker paper out of your pad, make it a habit to turn it over and put a little check mark on the back of it so you know you're on the right side. Because you may opt to render this. There's a video to render it. That's optional. I would do it, though, because it's going to give you practice for later on. You do need to ink it in, though. After doing these two little ones, see how tiny. If you relate it to my finger, it's only up to the first joint of my finger. It's that tiny. This one, it's only up to the length of my first finger. So these are tiny. You do your thinking tiny. So if you saw a gorgeous sofa in a movie, or you saw one in someone's home, and you wanted to recall the relationship between the bay window and that little tiny sofa, you'd be carrying a little sketchbook with you and make a very quick note like this, very rough. And then, if you wanted to use it in one of your projects, you would make a quick sketch based on that little thumbnail. And that's what you're going to do, is try to recreate that feeling of looking at something, wanting to catch it, and then making a little drawing of it, and then refining it by putting a piece of marker paper over top and making a finer drawing of it. And what I loved about this, and I did see it that way, I saw it in someone's home, I loved this back being short and this beautiful curve, and it's echoed down at the bottom, and had that little skirt at the bottom, and the LED windows, I loved that too. So it was something that I saw and wanted to capture. So this is a little exercise to acquaint you with that experience, so next time you're watching a movie or you're out and about, you find something you want to retain, you'll be able to make a note and do it later. So, and then if you are so inclined, you can practice some more rendering and do a little practice one. And I have a video that shows you how to go about doing that, as we are going to be rendering our first assignment. So that's your little in-class assignment for this week. So it has 3 parts: the thumbnail sketches, and then the enlarged sketch based on your little thumbnail, and then it has this inked in version that I'll walk you through as well. Hopefully now everybody has this, but much larger. On their 18 by 24 paper, you have 2 sofa references, you have a reference for your carpet pattern, your window treatment, and your pendant light fixture. What you're going to do through the week is place a piece of marker paper over top. And you're going to put a little check mark in the corner of the paper to make sure you've got the back of the paper, not the front. And you're going to look at your references and start turning these boxes into your furniture. So you're looking at your references. You've already begun that by making these 2 sketches. Now you're going to do it at actual size. And the place you're going to start is with that sofa, because that's the feature of the room, isn't it? It's what we're all going to see first. When you do it, you're going to do it in pencil, but I don't think you'd be able to see that if I did it. So I'm going to use a marker here and outline it in marker. Everyone is going to have this seat height for their sofa, so that 1.5 feet or 18 inches, 17 is probably more realistic, but everybody is going to have that height. And then you look at your sofas, and I would divide that 18 inches up between a cushion in this case, some upholstery in this case, and some legs. And I would look at them relative to each other and decide, okay, there seems to be more thickness of cushion, I'll decide over here, less of upholstery, and then I've got just enough room for legs. So I divide that up. That's a given. That's a known. So better to start there with something you know. Then the legs now, I just look at their silhouette and I try to capture what's going on with their silhouette. And you'll be in pencil so you can make adjustments as you go. We're going to later have to remove all of this pencil very, very, very carefully so that none of it gets on underneath and onto our marker, because lead pencil is actually quite greasy. Graphite is really greasy, and if it gets into our marker nib, we'll never get it out. So you've got to be very careful and you take your time to get all the pencil off, but you take your time and you look at one leg and you go back and look at the other, make sure they're as close to the same thing as you can get them. Now my arm here is really almost as wide as this one. This is unusual. Usually most of you will be trimming that arm. Yours will not be anywhere near as wide as we made that original arm. But I've got some things to consider here. It goes in, it swoops in. And what I should really have done is seen if I agree with the height. I don't really think that I do. I probably should have started at the top and brought this curve down and brought this inside, and then this curve, this seems longer than it is up there. So I think I would erase that and bring this down shorter. So that arm, that original arm, it was too high. So you see, you make modifications, but the only modification you do not make is the height of that seat. That stays the same for everybody. And then where this attaches to the back is right there. Now, this goes the same height for quite a way, and then it goes up. Now I have to go to my other arm. And now I check to see, this is sticking out further than that, so I've got to stick that out further. So you see, it's quite sketchy, but I'm in pencil, or I should be, and then I can erase. But I'm trying to be as faithful to my reference picture as I can be, trying to get the same proportions. And then the back, now the back in our case has a thickness, you see? So I have to consider that here and show a bit of thickness. Even though I don't see it in my picture, I know there is some. So there's a thickness to the top. Now, the back at the back, that part goes up to my back. My back is here, but it too has a thickness. So let's find the middle. There's the middle of my cushion. There's the middle of my cushion there. And that's when this is my seat. That one is a given. That one stays the same for everybody. This is my back. Now right here, up from there, that's where that beautiful curve starts. And I only bring it to here. Then I go down. And I have thickness because my drawing has thickness back there. Then I go over to here, and this is almost the same height. So this arm, that arm was too high. This one isn't high enough. it goes even with the back. So I have to come down and go over and come down. And then I follow my vanishing point. I have to use my vanishing point now to bring that over. And then this sticks out more than this, so I have to come over. I have to make it wider. Not this much, maybe. So you're judging relative scale. So although our box gave us most everything, it didn't give us all of it. We have to go in and make adjustments. And this angle should look like this one, so this one is wrong. So you're looking at symmetry. You never stop. And you're looking for side to side comparisons, side to side. And you take your time. But the seat height doesn't change for anybody. It's always the same for everybody. You have to look at your lady as well. Do you want her dressed that way? Maybe you want her dressed up for evening. Maybe she's waiting for her date and she's dressed up for evening. She's got a slinky dress on. And she's not bashful. She's got a slit in her dress. Woo! And she's got a... Doesn't she look like the type, though, that would be going out in the evening for cocktails and things? So you can change her clothing. You can make her look more the way you want her to look. For shoes are good for going out, I think. And then you'll go back to your window and you'll do the same. Now, we've got this gable, and mine I found look better if I didn't put this gable on, the one on the outside, if I just put this one on. And if you like, you can give yourself more space at the top if you don't put your marker paper up until there. So you kind of lose that pointy part of the gable. You can get rid of that. We don't need it because we're not even going to put that line in. It looks better if you don't. But very quickly start getting your walls in, because that's going to make a big difference in terms of placing everything, getting everything where you want it. And then you'd go in and you'd start working on your, if you want to get that whole same window, you would do that. You'd start by, now this you can use your ruler. This is all going to be, but maybe I come all the way up to here now with my window. Make it more elegant and make the room look more spacious. It's not a very big room, so we want to maybe... And you can do it quite sketchy until you're ready to firm it up. You can go in and be quite sketchy till you're ready. Now, you don't know how to draw all of these things. They're new to you. So you just have to rely heavily on your reference pictures, but also keep thinking, where is it in relation to my box and my eye level? A lot of these light fixtures aren't like this. They're silhouettes. So this one is fortunate because I'm seeing underneath, and you remember our box for our light, we're seeing underneath it. So that's going to be good. All I have to do is do my method and get my circle, and I'm pretty much done for that. But some of your reference won't look like that. It's going to look completely different. It's going to look like a silhouette. So you've got to do the translating. The bay window drawing exercise, this is this one, and it's 3 parts. It's the little thumbnails, and then you make a larger quick sketch, and then you put marker paper over and do a refined drawing. And it'll show you how to put the shadows in as well, and the hatching. Then the next part is to take your time and do your detailed pencil line drawing on your marker paper overlay. And here are all the things that you need to look out for. Make sure that you use the right side of your marker paper. Put a little check mark in the corner when you take it out of the pad. And consider cutting off that gable and starting in a little lower so you have more space here at the front to lead the viewer's eye into your composition. And then you're going to put this over this. When to hand it in next week, you put this over this. Keep it lined up and put this right over top. Just 2 pieces of masking tape. That's how you'll be handing it in. And then you're going to put a piece of tracing paper over the top so I can help you with your drawing if you need it. I can do some little things over top to show you. I don't want to draw on your drawing, interfere with it. We don't want any more graphite on there than is necessary because it's all got to come off before we render it. And that's everything. That's everything for this week because I'm thinking it's going to take time to do this carefully, to do it in a considered way, and to get something really nice that we can render later.